Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Scarlet Betch. I'm Jason.
And I'm Anthony.
So this week, is going to be a very interesting week because
What happened, Jason?
Well, I, like a good comic fanboy, went to my comic book store, purchased my comic books, and then promptly left them at work without reading them. So I don't really know anything. But I still think there's things to talk about in the comic book world, and yeah.
Definitely, and I have to say that I went to the comic book store today, and then because I didn't buy either Uncanny X-Men or Adjectiveless X-Men, because they are both boring and suck this month, I bought 15 other comics. Not really.
Don't you hate that? Whenever, like, I don't have anything on, like, that's like, coming out on my week, I can't not buy, I can't go to the store and not buy something, so I just, like, run around. I mean, like, that's the reason why I have a random issue of, like, Fear Itself, because, like, nothing came out. I'm like, I guess I'll buy this. I mean, Thor's cute, right?
Right. Okay, so, we talked about doing awards and things. We have done that in the past. So I have an award, speaking of that, issue that I bought because I wasn't buying anything else that I regret. And that would be Titans Annual versus the JLA, which I bought because Starman is on the cover and has 2 lines of dialogue in the entire story. So that was fun. Actually, it was a really interesting team. It's villains, and the Secret Six is a really popular team because of that. And yeah, they all hate each other and they wanted to kill each other, and it was nice. But Starman was only in it for like 2 seconds, so that was sad. And then I'm just gonna transition to the other Starman.
Yeah, go ahead.
JLA. They basically wrapped up this story, but next issue is going to be like a kind of a denouement because they had like a cliffhanger ending where they were like, Ray Palmer was like, "You have my blessing to be the JLA for as long as you want," and then it was like 5 weeks later, "This is our last meeting, guys," and it's like, what happened? So it's like when Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman vanished for a year, except it's only 5 weeks, so we're gonna get caught up on that next month. But it was good. It was really interesting. My comic book store guy said that the guy who's been writing JLA, Robinson, he wrote this huge compendium of Starman, or a series called Starman. It's like 5 giant omnibuses long, and like it defined Nick Thomas, and yeah, it was just amazing.
Wait, is Starman the same Starman who gave Stargirl her cosmic rod?
Not the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
But all of the Star people appear in that Starman comic by James Robinson, who is now kind of sucking it at writing on the JLA. Which brings me to the Wonder Woman the 70s, which wins for worst art and best art in the same comic. Because so this is like the DC retroactive, and it's Wonder Woman from the 70s, so she's got her cool, like, she renounced her heritage and like learned judo and became, like,
was this when she lost her superpowers and she was just like, Wonder Woman, secret spy?
I love this Wonder Woman. She's awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing, because the issue that they reprinted is great. I love it. Catwoman looks hilarious. And look her up. Look up Catwoman in the 70s. It's amazing. And Diana Prince looks awesome. Okay, here's Catwoman.
Oh, nice.
Right? Oh, let's go. Anyway, and it's a cool story. She has a cool sensei who's blind and is a judo master or whatever. And it's fun. But then the story that they wrote new makes no sense. It starts with Wonder Woman parachuting from a plane she hired because she can't fly. And then she deals with aliens who turn her into her 70s self, who has no superpowers. And then she randomly kind of defeats them, and then some Amazon was like, their programming was malfunctioning, so what? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know when it's set, because she can't fly, but she wears her old costume. It's out there. Maybe I just don't know as much about the 70s. Maybe it was set in a different era, but I have to say that issue from the 70s, I understand why they gave Dennis O'Neil the story, because that old issue was real good. I liked it. Yeah, that's good. Do you want to talk about something we both read?
Sure.
Daken?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. store.
I flipped through it at the store. Yes. I'm sorry.
What did you think?
Comic retailer.
I love Agent Keel. I love Agent Keel.
Yeah, she's good. I like her.
Okay, because have you ever read House of Mystery?
No.
Okay, the main character is Fig Keel, and she is basically a fucked up blonde, just like this one. And so I'm liking the parallel Keelness, and that she is in love with the devil, because I think she makes a good romantic interest for Daken. And I'm like, oh, he should have a girlfriend or boyfriend in every city. That'd be great. Those pros in different area codes. Perfect. Yeah, and I liked it. And I like that he's gonna fight Taskmaster. That's cool. I finally figured out the temporal shifts that have been going on.
Oh yeah.
What were you gonna...
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think Taskmaster is like, he's a great villain, kind of a great idea, but like the worst costume in the world. He really needs a better costume. It's just really terrible.
I mean, he's Skeletor is what he is.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of dumb.
But
but
well. It would make sense if like the skeleton aspect had any relation to his actual like persona or like character. But like Taskmaster, well, like if you, like so many of the things about this character that don't make sense. It should be like Weapon Master, because that's actually what he's the master of, not tasks. It's not like, you know, it's like...
It's really true.
You know,
it's really...
like, the person who is actually the Taskmaster is like Mary Poppins. Like, that's who the Taskmaster is.
It's so true. Perfect. I now am going to write a fanfiction about the Taskmaster taking care of children. Actually, I think that was called Dark Reign Avengers Academy, but... yeah, excellent. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I really liked the development for Agent Keel. Yeah, and it's weird that Daken's addicted to drugs. Stop it, Daken. Stop it.
I'm ambivalent about the art in the book, because like on one hand, I don't know, I have trouble figuring out what's going on sometimes with the art, just because I don't know, I have trouble reading the sequences and whatnot. But what I do think he does well is the whole psychedelic stuff. Whenever he's using the heat, it looks great.
It looks awesome. Yeah, I would love to see how the artist does that. It would probably be really cool, technically awesome. I definitely have trouble with the temporal mechanics of things, because they're telling two stories that are going to meet up. Because the Taskmaster thing appears to be this heist that he is selling to the crime bosses now, and it started at the beginning of this arc, so it's weird. It's always caught me a little off guard, but I mean, I liked it because it wasn't impossible to figure out, and I think it does. I think Daken is a good book for storytelling mechanics that make you think. You have to think to read Daken, and I like that. Yeah. All in all, good. I like that Donna Keel sometimes wears glasses and sometimes doesn't.
Like how Wonder Woman sometimes wears pants and then sometimes doesn't. Speaking of that, I got the one thing that I did read. So, DC put out a comic book of promo comic book for their new DCNU 52 issue 52 title reboot.
Yeah, all their new issues.
Yeah. And so I mean, it was free, so I was like, oh, I'll take it. It has a preview of Justice League #1. I'll see what it is. And like, I had like kind of been like ambivalent about the whole DCNU. I was like, I could kind of be interested in it. Like, okay, I'll see how it goes. I read like the first 5 pages of JLA or JL, I don't know, Justice League #1, and it's terrible. Like, I was like, I hate this already. Like, it just did not make me happy. Like, evidently in this world, like, superheroes like don't exist. They don't really exist, but they're like outlaws or something. And like, Green Lantern doesn't know who Batman is. He's when Green Lantern like kind of like, appears on stage, he's like he happens upon Batman. He's like, Batman, you're real? I'm like, he's the fucking Batman. Like, what the? Yeah. So, and then also Batman is also
get some explanation.
Maybe. And
But yeah,
also like Batman is also really like hyper violent and like he shoots a grappling hook through somebody's thigh. A, I don't think grappling hooks work that way, and then B, like why? Like when did Batman do that? I knew Batman like took people to town, but like grave mortal injury. That doesn't really sound like his like. That sounds like Batman from like
Frank Miller's horrible.
No, not that one. I'm talking about a Batman from like Flashpoint. If you know when.
Oh, well, because it's supposed to come out of Flashpoint, isn't it?
Well, that's not clear.
Okay.
There's a lot of debate about what's going. Some people think that Flashpoint is gonna feed into the New 52. Some people think they're just gonna be like Flashpoint's done, and like there's gonna be like no like narrative like transition. It's just like new stuff, new shit.
That's what I thought they were gonna do, and then I heard all these rumors that like Flashpoint was gonna flow into it, and I was like, Flashpoint is nothing like this universe. Like. It's not gonna be like I don't understand. They're gonna be like they're gonna.
Well, it's confusing because there are some characters from Flashpoint that are continuing on. Like I think like the cricket is gonna continue on or something like that. And, like they're
the JLA Dark is gonna be a lot of characters from that. And I mean I guess that's the thing. I am looking forward to that title a lot. So I'm excited about DCNU. I'm definitely not gonna be reading JLA. I like the JLA.
Wait, no, JL. There is no JLA.
But it's just the Justice League.
Yeah, I think it's just Justice League. Yeah, maybe it's JLA. I'm not sure. Whatever.
I think it's JL.
Okay, maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna call it that because saying JL just sounds bad.
Yeah. I also noticed that I tweeted this also. In the preview, like I also like, so after the preview was done, I flipped over and it had like the cover that Jim Lee did, which is like kind of a terrible cover. But I flipped it open. And on it they had like the cover, and then they had like a little preview of like the pencils for like an interior page to show like this is what we're doing. This is really cool. But like where they put the cover just perfectly covered up Cyborg, like the one black guy, the one person of color on that entire team, and I was like, guys,
it's like you have a team of like 9 straight white guys, and then
one
you have
girl,
one lady, and one black guy.
One black guy who's not even fully a black. He not fully a guy. He's fully black, but not like. He's like a black and chrome. You know, like.
I mean, let's not. I mean, Superman is not technically a straight white man. He is a straight white Kryptonian.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah. So I was like, what the fuck is up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see that because I did not get that free thing. So I was confused by your tweet because I was like, every cover I've seen has Cyborg on it. But it's just because they were like, oh, we're gonna edit that. Oh yeah, I was reading that Titans thing, and they had a huge coloring mistake. They had one person fighting this person who, like Jade, has like a bodysuit and has the same haircut. But she's red instead of green. But instead of coloring her...
Wait, Jade is...
red?
Okay.
Jade
is red?
A character who's red and a character who's green, and
okay.
they look the same. And they fight on different sides and against different opponents. But they colored the red one green, so it just looks like this JLA member's like shooting his teammate. and she appears in the panel above as well. So it's like, you didn't follow the story at all when you did the colors, did you? You just were like, whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of coloring mistakes that really pissed me off, so we've established that I'm very involved in the Wiccan and Hulkling fan art community. Maybe not very involved, but involved to an aspect.
Involved enough?
Yeah, involved enough. So, one of the things that pisses me off, so like at some point, like I can't remember like during which Young Avengers run, but like there was a miscoloring of Wiccan's costume where like his side like portions, he has these little like side portions that are usually kind of like a dark blue or like a gray kind of silver or kind of matte thing. They were miscolored like a gold or like a yellow. And evidently this is like stuck. Like everyone thinks that this is the actual like official costume, and everyone's coloring in Wiccan's side is like gold or yellow. I'm like, no. Like
start up group.
Yeah, I know. And then so it annoys me. It annoys me whenever I see Sleeping Beauty in pink because she's in blue, not pink. Miscoloring. It annoys me.
That is something I don't even. It's not on my radar at all. Um, speaking of famous messes, I picked up Hack Slash 2. It was good. I picked it up because they were gonna kill like Lady Gaga and Justin Bieber and Jersey Shore, and they killed a lot of those people, and that was cute. And then it turns out that Justin Bieber is like the Antichrist linked to a hell dimension, so that'll be cute next issue.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's cute. And the other thing that we can both talk about is Generation Hope. Why can we talk about it? Because it has this awesome cover. Ooh. Very simple, very nihilistic. And inside, it's the It Gets Better issue. And it's super trite. And it has this wonderful scene with Wolverine saying, "Better, kid." What gets better? How many times have you died, Wolverine?
I know, right?
How many times?
Yeah, and how many times have you had to murder the woman you love? Like...
Right? I'm pretty sure for a mutant, it gets really freaking worse.
Yeah, all the time.
And it didn't make sense. He's like, Zero's like, everyone in the world is shit. And then he's like, it gets better. And then Zero's like, I'm convinced. Let's go get wasted.
Yeah.
That's how it ends, guys.
Yeah.
Drinking.
Underage drinking, for that matter.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they're in England, so it's okay. Well, great. I'm glad morality is simply an issue of written legislation.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. I did think it was powerful how there's like a section without words at all, and how like it's superheroes rushing to save someone and they don't make it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of...
I mean, it's like, in terms of...
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just, yeah, that I think that was nice. I mean, you know, the It Gets Better campaign is kind of a concerted push to, like, through mere force of will, create a happy ending for everyone. And so, yeah, at least that's my impression.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the ones that don't do that try to offer advice or say, like, you know, it doesn't get better, but it gets different, and these are the ways that it gets different. So you can not kill yourself and do these things instead. Because I think alternatives are much better than platitudes.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just going to say, in terms of, like, speaking of It Gets Better, it was announced this week that Kevin Keller is getting his monthly title and is also going to be featured on Archie and Friends as an adult and gay married, which is really, really exciting because
He's just going to be regular married. Let's be real.
No, he's going to be gay married.
Because I feel like gay married has to be like all political, and he has to be like, our marriage is perfect because we are perfect because gay people are just fine. Mm-hmm. But I'm really looking forward to, as people are accepting gay relationships, having some really fucked up gay relationship storylines.
Yeah, but you're not going to have that on Archie.
Well, I mean, this is Archie's adults. Don't they, like, have money problems and things like that?
I don't read very much Archie at all, but I don't think so.
I think this is really indicative of, because you know in that article that you linked to, where it was like 7 people have unsubscribed from Veronica due to the Kevin Keller story, or I mean, due to whatever. And I definitely have subscribed to it.
Yeah. But then I'm like, to be fair, how many people have subscribed? I'm
like, they can count all 7.
Yeah.
That's
right.
But I am definitely going to start picking up Life with Archie now that Kevin Keller's going to be on it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm looking forward to married.
Yeah, I just hope that, like, in subsequent, like, issues and everything, that, like, I haven't been keeping up with his miniseries. I don't know if Kevin Keller #2 has come out. I think it may have. I'm not sure. But, like...
It comes out...
Okay. But, like, so the first one was, like, super heavy-handed, and, like, there was some fun stuff in it, but it was, like, Zomji's, you know, don't ask, don't tell, everyone. It was like, okay, we can, like, back up and not be a press release for Service Leaders Defense Network, you know? Like, come on.
I mean, but it is Archie, right? Like, I'm not I'm not expecting things that aren't heavy-handed. I'm expecting Leave It to Beaver, but gay.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I feel like Archie is like wholesome fun, and it's like boo, you know, whackity smackity doo. But it's not like overtly political, you know, like. And this is that was very clearly like a political statement. We're like I want to serve with honor and dignity. Exactly. I want to serve in the U.S. Journalism Corps because that's a thing for Kevin Keller. But
yeah, no, it's true. That was a little. But yeah, no. Well, I guess what would I say about that? I would say that yeah, it was heavy-handed and it was kind of annoying to sit through that, but I realize that it's in the service of defining a character, and I feel like there are a lot of logistic problems that arise when you are introducing a gay character who wants to be military, which you're doing for political purposes. Like, I mean, you're directly putting him in positions of power, in positions where gay people have not normally been accepted, because you are being political with the character. And I think that in the future, he's going to mellow out, I hope. And not be heavy-handed and not talk about wanting to go into the army all the time, especially because we are getting all that repealed and people are gonna experience the complete boringness that is having openly gay coworkers.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So, and hopefully, yeah, and that's the thing, I'm gonna start buying Archie comics, so good job, Archie people.
Okay, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, we're saving X Factor for next week.
Yep, we are. Oh, did you see Harry Potter?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I know. I need to see it, but I don't have time.
It was really good.
Really? Okay, because I went to see it with a Trekkie, Sarah Carr, from our guest spot. And she's a Trekkie, so she has been trained to hate every change to canon. And she was like, they didn't do things exactly right.
Oh, and yeah, no, I'm not a Harry Potter purist at all. I think Harry Potter purism is like being really like being a stickler about like My Little Pony canon, like.
Well, but the other thing that I feel about like with Harry Potter is that I felt like the series went completely grew exponentially at the end, like because
it did.
Completely unbounded and unedited, and I felt like
when she became successful, like she lost like any ability to be edited, completely. Like,
I mean, that
there
happens
was
to every
so
author.
much, but there was so much in those later books that didn't need to be in there, like. And the thing she just kept introducing more and more characters, and she had to write all these different plot lines and include every single character because they became fan favorites. And like, why isn't Cho Chang in this chapter? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Cho Chang. She was like, she was good for like book 3 or book 4 or whatever, and like that was all you need. You don't need Cho Chang after book 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing that I loved is that I had a friend in high school who was like Cho Chang. You named her Cho Chang.
Yeah.
So what are you going to introduce now? The Mexican character Chimichanga?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also, like, so I was all, like, so I mean, like, I have a lot of, like, Harry Potter love, but I also have a lot of Harry Potter hate. And so after the movie, I was like, oh, this would be really, like, I really wish there was a Harry Potter role-playing game that I could play. But unfortunately, J.K. Rowling has stonewalled any kind of, like, gaming company creating a Harry Potter, role-playing game. And I understand, like, a tabletop role-playing game. I understand that because, like, when you do that, when you hand over kind of, like, your canon to a role-playing company, like, they have to fill in everybody's questions. They have to fill in all the gaps to make it a cohesive environment. And there's so much to, like, that is unfilled, and so many questions that are like, and so I was just thinking like, oh, maybe I could, write, or maybe I could like hack together a set of rules for like just the magic system. And I was like, the more I researched the magic system in Harry Potter, I'm like, this makes no sense whatsoever. So as far as I can tell,
really,
there are like 5 different like classes of spells: charms, transfiguration, jinxes, hexes, and curses. And also counter spells and also healing, but those don't really count. And so charms change what things do. Transfiguration change what things are. So I'm like, okay, I get that, those things. But then, so like those are, that's one thing. And then hexes, jinxes, hexes, and curses are all these are all different. Like, there's a hierarchy of like evil spells. So jinxes are like not that bad. Hexes are kind of bad, and curses are like really bad. But I'm like, why isn't there a hierarchy of good spells? Then therefore, like, there are some curses that like change what a thing is or change how a thing acts. So there's some curses that are also kind of charms or also kind of transfiguration. I'm like, this makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Sorry, I just went into a really long rant about Harry Potter's spell.
Well, and I would say that, no, that really is the case. And I feel like what made the book so bad was that J.K. Rowling started trying to answer all those niggling questions that you would need to answer to, like, fill in a giant Silmarillion's worth of a backstory. And it was completely unnecessary, I thought, to telling the story. And B, she was inconsistent with her magic system. The magic system was just a plot device to tell the story, and wasn't something that wasn't the point of the book, really. And that talking especially with Sarah Carr about the movie and what she really wanted to have been emphasized was the story about like the love spell, and really brought to the fore in my mind the fact that like this book is a story about a mother's love for her son and how Harry Potter learned to love like his mother.
But the love charm is like moot point now though, because like after book 6 where...
Oh, no, it's gone.
It's gone, yeah.
His gets lifted, exactly. I mean,
yeah.
But just thematically, like, the things that think are important were all the love stuff, which I did not read those books for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to be fair, I thought the movie did a really good job of the whole Snape flashback, because when I read it in the book, I was like, this is bullshit. Like I was like really mad. I'm like, this is bullshit. But like, in the movie, like, it made sense, and it really kind of like hooked emotionally. I'm like, okay, you know, like. But before, I was like, this is really heavy-handed, and this is total Deus Ex Machina, and like, not fair. Like, I don't think it was because like, I felt like when I read it in the book, I felt like it wasn't fair to the reader, because like you set up these expectation, you know, because like you're constantly being like, oh, it's Snape, no, it's not Snape. Oh, it's Snape, no, it's not Snape. Oh, it's Snape, no, it's not Snape. And then so like we're like conditioned to be like, oh, it's not Snape. And then finally we were like, oh my god, it's Snape. Oh my god. Just kidding. You know, it's like.
Yeah. Sarah Carr really liked that portion as well. That Snape flashback. So I'm looking forward to that. She said she cried. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, on that note, I think we can close shop for today. But yeah, stay tuned next week for more great nerd, queer, and comic book news.
And X Factor 222.